All right.
All right.
So I'm Dave Holt, co-founder of SureVestor, along with my partner, Kevin Knight. And we've been doing these lunch and learns. Now this is our third one. And what the purpose of this is really to give information to our property management colleagues. It's Kevin and I are property managers, longtime property managers. And we just want to share what we've been doing. And really as part of our growth in property management is utilizing the services of valued vendors. And so what we do each month is feature one of our favorite vendors that we use and show you how you can be benefiting as well from their services. But anyway, Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself and then introduce our guest of honor, Anu.
All right, thanks, Dave. So I'm Kevin Knight, and I have a property management company in San Antonio, Texas. I've been doing property management a little over 38 years, so back in the dark ages. Both Dave and I are CRMC property management company, so that means we're certified. We run at a very high level. We've been actually audited by the National Association of Residential Property Managers. And so we like to think we do property management pretty good. I mean, there's always stuff to learn, but we want to introduce Anu to you guys because they do so much for our company. So Anu is the owner of Planet Synergy, and they do virtual assistants. And I'm going to go ahead and share the screen, Anu, and let you get going.
Sure. Thank you, Dave and Kevin, for the introduction and inviting me for this lunch and earn. I certainly appreciate it. And we've been working with Dave and Kevin for several years now, 7 years with Dave's company, and celebrating our 10th anniversary with Liberty Management soon. Like Kevin mentioned, we met at the National Convention in Dallas 10 years back. So thank you both for being our long-term clients. We appreciate that. And to give you a quick overview about our company, we're based in Atlanta, Georgia. My husband and I started this business in 2003. And at that time, we were helping any small to medium-sized businesses with back office administrative tasks. And a lot of our clients were realtors. So we were helping them on the sales side. And when the real estate market crashed, our clients started foreclosures, short sales. And so we were helping them with that too. And then finally in 2006, our clients started managing homes. So that's when we got into property management and started helping with back office administrative tasks for property managers. Right now, 99% of our clients are property managers, and most of our business comes through word of mouth and NARPM conferences. We have been NARPM affiliates ever since we started our business. I mean, ever since we started helping property managers in 2006. So we help a lot of NARPM affiliates with back office administrative tasks.
So one of the things I want to say, Anu, and we have up on the slide some of the different property management software packages that you guys do, and the teams know all of them. But one of the things that really gets me is they actually know the property management software better than most of the property managers do themselves, has been my experience.
Yes. So when we hire a new employee, we train them with all aspects of property management and a couple of software applications. So when we start with a new client, we don't need any training how to execute the tasks in AppFolio or PropertyWare. So the team is well trained in executing the task, but we do need help in creating instructions. So what we do is once a client picks the task that they need help with, we send you questionnaires or the generic procedures that we follow. and your team can review, make changes, and then we can start right away. So we don't need, like I said, don't need help in executing, but we just need to know how you would like for us to work on the task so that when you hire us, we want to make sure there's not too many changes for your employees. So we learn how you work and we train our team. So besides the property management applications, our team is well versed in project management and task management software applications like Asana, Process Street, Rike, and maintenance coordination softwares like Property Meld, and showing applications like Rently, Showmojo, Tenant Turner. So we can help you with marketing also besides the bookkeeping tasks. And I could send you the list of tasks that we are working. So basically we help you with end-to-end with property management tasks so that your team will have more time during the day to take care of the pressing tasks, making calls to owners, more hand-holding for the owners, following up with the vendors if something is not completed in a timely manner.
So one of the things I'm going to jump in on you. One of the things I want to kind of stress is, you're talking about all these different task softwares, but it really just, what I found is it really just helps with all the day-to-day operations and making sure nothing falls through the cracks. Everything's done in a very timely fashion for the company operations. And because I know a lot of us, we have our different favorite, like I use SharePoint and other people are using Asana or different things, that track all these little tasks that we have in our companies. But your team's able to jump in on those and just make sure all these different tasks are done, whether it's lease renewals, late notices, different things. I know we'll cover some of those, but I just find that, that being able to jump on those task lists that the different companies have is huge. And then I really like where we're going next is, there's so many, there's several different VA companies out there. And some people, they hire a VA that works from their house in the Philippines or Mexico. And I don't have anything against them per se, but what they don't usually have is a secure data center. And so why don't you go ahead and tell us just a little bit about your secure data center?
Sure. So we have a secure data center in India, and that office is managed by my brother. So we're a true family-owned business. So my husband and I manage the business here in Atlanta, Georgia, and my brother manages the office in India. And we have 24/7 camera monitoring. There's a security guard 24/7 at the door. Biometric lock so that only the employees can enter the office. We've disabled all USB drives on every single computer in the office. And nothing is stored on our computers. So all client data is saved on the online storage provided by the client. Or on your server. So we can access your server and save everything there. So we do not have anything on our computers. And for all of the applications or the online storage, we have two-step verification with a cell phone number in India so that only the employees can log in when they are in the office. And, we monitor PC activities for every PC that's in the office. We have, this is as far as the security is concerned. And then to avoid distractions while the team is working on the task, no cell phones are allowed in the office. And we have disabled all social media websites. So while they are working, none of the social media websites can be pulled up. We release it during lunch break so that they can view it. But we have a secure data center and we make sure we run a tight shift with, zero distraction. And we are 100% compliant with Microsoft Windows, Adobe software, and all of the softwares are genuine applications.
Yeah, I think it's huge and new because, I think that's where a lot of property managers were very sensitive about the security of our data. And that's why I find when somebody's working from their house in another country, you really don't have the control over your data. And with your team, we have peace of mind, really. We don't have to worry about our data being stolen or hacked or people, selling email lists or anything like that. So it's just really a big plus that you guys work in such a tight environment.
Sure. Yeah. And when we hire our employees to, they go through screening, and we have 2 weeks of classroom training where we train them on all aspects of property management, followed by 2 weeks of training on the software applications. And end of the month, end of 4 weeks, if we feel that they don't fit our company, we give them a 1 month salary and let them go, because we want to make sure we hire employees that have attention to detail, do things correctly. And end of 1 month, they are put on client tasks, but they don't work independently. They have someone watching them when they work for 1 more month. So end of 2 months is when they start working independently on client tasks. So because we want to make sure there are no errors at all when we work. So we have a 0 errors policy in the company, because we have bonuses for the employees every month. When they, beginning of the month, we put money in their virtual bank account. And if they make a mistake, we deduct from there. And end of the month, if they don't make any mistake, they get that extra bonus along with their salaries. So all of the employees are salaried under Planet Synergy Infotech, which is a sister company that we have created in India. So they are our employees under our payroll. We provide them 401k and health benefits. So the attrition rate is very, very low with us. So once we train them, we have employees that have been with us, 10, 12 years. And I go to India 2 to 3 times a year for hiring and during the training. So I go at least 2 times a year and sometimes 3 times a year.
Now, one of the things I like and new is that they're also, my understanding's right, they're all college educated.
Yes.
You bring in really smart people that are really high quality. So when they do our tasks, they're spot on. I mean, it's like the more we turn things over from my company, it's just like one thing we don't even have to worry about anymore. We give it, well, actually, I'm not going to say to you, we give it to our team because we consider them part of our company over there. So we give it to our team, and you don't have any of the issues of, oh, I'm out sick, I have a doctor's appointment, I'm on vacation. There's none of those issues because there's redundant people that know how to do the tasks that we want done. And so not only is it seamless, it's like they never miss a beat.
Yes. So yeah, that's one thing that, ever since when we first started this, we were the only NARPM affiliates providing VA services to property managers. And we started with the team approach. So we have small teams of 6 people in a team and a team leader. So each person is working on the task on a rotating basis. So everyone is aware of a client's account. So if one person is sick, that does not stop the workflow at all. So the next person is picking up and working. And he or she is as proficient as the person, assigned to your account, because they are working on it day in and day out. And one of the policies that we have at our company is, even if an employee has been working with us for 10 years on the same client task, they have to have the instructions open on one monitor. because there will be updates from the client, and we update the user manuals with the updates provided. So we monitor that too. So if they don't have the instructions open on one of the monitors, then they are fined. So they make it a point to make sure they open the instructions and follow it to the T. So that's one thing that I'm very proud of our team, is when we give them instructions and we train them, they will follow the instructions to the T.
Yeah, one thing I find with that, with the instructions, that's really quite beneficial is that we all do property management pretty similar, but we have little nuances that we do, even within the softwares, whether custom fields and other things. And a new year team, you'll create actual processes for us specifically. And that's the instructions that you're talking about. And they're very well done. I mean, they're very clear procedures on how the stuff actually works that I couldn't replicate it the way you all do. And in 7 years, your team has made less mistakes than anybody in my staff, my personal staff. I mean, they make a lot more mistakes than you all do. So you're very efficient in following those procedures.
Yeah, I have to agree with it's like the zero mistakes. We almost never have a mistake. And one of the things, so we didn't mention this up front, Dave, but if anyone has any questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. And because I know we're covering a lot of data in a short amount of time, and we'll go over the questions at the end. So if you have a question, throw it in the chat, and we'll circle back to those.
Either that, Kevin, or we, now that our format's a little different because now we can see everybody.
Yeah.
So you could raise your hand at the end when we go through the Q&A, and we can just ask the questions that way too.
Questions are already rolling in, so we might have a few.
All right.
So I knew one of the things that you do, and you actually helped us do this years ago, is you help migrate software, which is a huge, because we were on a terrible software. We moved over to Appfolio. So I know and that's a lot of work, some of these where you have to manually punch everything into the computer. And so your guys are specialists at migrating onto different software platforms.
Yes. So when we first started helping property managers in 2006, there were only 2 applications we were working with, Manage It and Tenant Pro. So those were the only 2 we were working with. And in 2007, our very first client, he's been our client since 2003. He switched over to Appfolio, and we helped him migrate from Tenant Pro to Appfolio. And in the last over 10 plus years, we've helped several clients migrate from one software to another. Last quarter of 2020, October to December, we did 10 migrations.
So I really think the people on are going to be really interested to just see these next slides on exactly what it is that you do for property management companies. Because I know we have a huge list, and I see some of them on here that you do for us. But if you want to go over some of the things that you actually do.
Sure. So one of the tasks that we work for every client is process maintenance invoices and utility bills. So when a vendor submits an invoice, we close out the work order, process the invoice, and send tenant surveys, and also follow up with the vendors, everything via email. So that's one of the tasks that is time consuming, but it does not have to be done during daytime by your team. So our team picks it up and works on the tasks. Our team, like I mentioned, works in India from our office. So they work US overnight hours. So anything that your team is not able to complete during US daytime, it can be sent over to us, and we will work overnight. And the following morning, when your team comes in, they can start off with a clean state. Everything will be completed. And some of the other tasks are rent payments, checks, money orders, Housing Authority, Section 8 rent payments. So for Section 8 rent payments, we log into the HAP website and enter the rent payments. Late fee reminder emails, pay or vacate letters, sending emails to the owner. So that's one of the things that we work for a lot of our clients. We run the delinquency report, and if a rent has not come in by the grace period date, then we send an email to the owner notifying him or her that the rent payment has not come in. So the owner draws would be delayed by a few days. That cuts back on the phone calls for your team, because the owners will call and find out if when they will receive the money. So we will proactively send this on grace period day, and then a couple of days after if the rent has not come in. And we can help with the marketing, resize, watermark pictures, market on MLS, Craigslist, and any other marketing website that does not sync with your software application. And add new owners in the system, add new properties, add new leases, so we can convert the applicants to the tenants, and notify the owners when a new lease is signed. So we send the owners, if you share the copy of lease with the owners, we send them a copy of the lease applications, generate monthly owner statements, generate yearly statements, 1099s. We can create leases in AppFolio, DocuSign, Zip Form, or any other software applications that you use for creating new lease applications or lease renewals. One of the other big tasks that's time consuming that we work on is lease renewals. So we send notification to the tenants 90 days prior, and then continue to follow up with them till they say yes or no. We do 3-day follow-ups or 5-day follow-ups. And once they agree, then we create the lease renewals with the new rent amount, send it out to the tenants. When they send the signed leases, we update your software with the new rent amount or any additional tenants and all of the information from the lease renewal document. So this is time consuming with a lot of steps, and we've been very successful in making sure the lease renewals are caught up at the end of each month, so there aren't any leases that are sitting in the software that have expired. And HOA violations, add charges to the tenants for, if there is an HOA violation, if you have charges, we add charges. Update tenants' renters insurance. So again, if a tenant has not signed up for renters insurance, we send follow-up emails till we receive the renters insurance from them, and we update the software, and we run the expiration report, and every time the lease renters insurance expires, we contact the tenant. So we stay on top of things with the renters insurance, and also on the vendor side, vendors, workman's comp, liability insurance, W-9. We do a quarterly audit on this and follow up with the vendors till they send us an updated workman's comp and liability insurance. And generate reports. There are some, few examples there, but if something is not on this list, as long as you send us instructions, I can train the team. And bank reconciling, we do interim bank recs where we check for transactions every single week and notify your accounting team that here are the missing transactions. So end of the month, the reconciling is, can be done within a few minutes. So, if anything is not on this list of tasks, you can send us the tasks and the instructions, and, I can train the team, and we can make sure we meet deadlines. If you have any projects, like one of the projects that we work is mostly, migration tasks or any other projects that you would like for us to do, we can train the team and meet the deadline. So I'm very confident about that.
So one of the things I'm going to say, because it's almost overwhelming, all the stuff you guys could do. And I know you could send people a list of stuff that you already know how to do, and they could just say, hey, start doing this. But really what I find is like, you just find one thing to start with to offload. And then once you see how, you just give them a task and you see how smooth it goes, then you start giving them another task and then another task. And I've actually trained my staff to look at what they're actually doing. And if it's anything that they could offload, then we want to offload it, because they don't need to be spending time punching stuff in the computer. They need to be on the phones with owners and tenants, taking care of business, signing up, just dealing with people instead of doing the data processing. So they're actually pretty good now at, hey, why am I typing this into MLS, or why am I posting on Ahern, or why am I sending a HOA violation notice? Let my virtual assistant team do that for me. And they find it just runs like clockwork. They get more done. They don't worry about it. But I got a feeling you guys are probably doing close to 50 different things for us at this point, which is a lot. And I know we started out with just one, but the more we give you guys, the happier my employees are. They're less stressed. They don't have to deal with this stuff. And as you know, Anu, we're really detailed. Our workflow checklists here are super detailed. We don't want anything to fall through the cracks, whether it's turning on and off utilities or doing this or doing that. So I think, the big thing is just, reaching out and doing that, start that first task just to see how well it actually works.
Yes, we prefer to do it that way because we like to start off with one task. Because if, we want to make sure we go through the learning curve with both teams, your team and our team. And at end of 1 week, the team is ready to start with additional tasks.
So Kevin, for the sake of time, for everybody's time, can you let's go through the Q&As, and if anybody has their screen up, they can click on the raise hand and we can call on you that way as well. But Kevin, what do we have so far? Question.
Right, let me. All right, so I got a news contact on the shared screen. So the first question is, do you work with Yardi, Anu?
We have worked with Yardi. Currently, we do not have any clients, but we have worked with Yardi in the past. Our Yardi clients migrated to other software applications.
And so here's one I figured we would get this. Do you answer phone calls?
Unfortunately not, because the team works during US nighttime hours. We don't answer phone calls, and there's one other reason for that. We do not want the team to be distracted with answering phone calls. So we just want them to concentrate on working on the administrative tasks.
And, I almost hate to bring this up, Anu, but, one of the things I find is, on the phone call things, a lot of the people from India have that, an accent. And unfortunately, it's kind of an issue with some of the Americans here. And so, and of course, they're working a night shift and so they're not even in the same time zones. But I think it's better that they don't do the phone calls. So really, you want different virtual assistants if you want phone call work. But where you guys excel at is the data process. What I find is anything that can be done on a computer, your team could do. I'm going to say our team could do. So anything that's, yes. and most of our life nowadays is done on the computer, unfortunately, I think. But so anything that's done on a computer, you guys could do. And I know I had one report that I was trying to, I used to have to run it every month, and it took me an hour to put it together. And, and so basically, we finally gave it to you. And then, it's what you were saying. It's like, there is an advantage of the team working at night, because now the office is really has 24-hour productivity. So basically my guys stack up all this work during the day, and when they come in, it's done. And so we are extremely efficient company and staying on task. So let me see, we got some more messages coming in. Another Yardi one we answered. So you can do Yardi.
Yes, we can.
So here's one of the questions, which is a good one. They're wondering about, can we reach our team during US business hours?
All the communications with our employees is done via email. And I am available during US daytime hours for any calls, instructions, training, or anything like that. But unfortunately, the team is not. They log in between 10:30 to 11:30 p.m. Eastern time and work till 8 or 9 a.m. In the morning. They work every night except for Saturday night. So the following morning by 10 a.m. Eastern time, the team will send emails for all of the tasks that they had worked on, saying, here are the tasks we received, this is what we completed, and here are the questions we have, and we need your help to complete this. So one, besides the zero mistakes policy that I've mentioned, one of the things is we say accuracy is very important. Do not guess and work. One of the things is with guessing and working is with the vendor invoices. If it's a handwritten invoice, we won't be able to figure out with the handwriting. So we send it back to your maintenance team. So they will send you an email every morning with the task completed, questions. And if we are not able to complete, they'll give you a completion date too.
Yeah, what I find new is, when we have something, usually we just email or call you, and it's never been an issue. So, I mean, if we have something that we need to say, hey, we need the team to do this, or we need to follow up on that, we usually just reach out to you, and then you make sure it's taken care of.
Yes, so you can call me, on my cell phone or text me anytime. Not only during the, I'm on Eastern time zone, but anytime.
So the next question, are your services limited to property management? They also do brokerage and lending. So do you work with any real estate brokerages or lenders?
Realtors, yes, we've started adding back. When we first started, it was realtors, and then the last few years, it was all property management, but real estate picked up again. So we have a few realtors as our clients in the last 4 years. Yes, we can definitely help.
Okay, so here's a good question. It says, since you don't do phone calls, have you had any difficulty in following up with vendors and tenants? They said we found these days it usually works best if they call or text the tenants or vendors. Otherwise, they don't seem to they don't always respond to email. So of course, text messaging is pretty big nowadays.
Text messaging, yes, we do text, and voice messaging also. So there is another software application that our clients use. It's called textmall.com. And using that, we can schedule text messages and voice messages.
Okay, so here's another question. So this is I always cringe when I'm migrating software, but they're asking, how often do you see PMs migrate from one software platform to another, and what are the success rates of those transitions?
Very often, the migrations, so like I mentioned, every year we do at least 20, 25 migrations. And the success rate of migration, I would say 100%, whatever is assigned to our team, we complete it within the deadline.
So what do you
and
see
we have a migration checklist, which lists all of the tasks that we have to do and different phases of the migration. So we divide it into 4 phases.
So what do you see people migrating to, just to let people know where are the top 2 platforms people seem to be migrating to?
Top two, Appfolio and Propertyware.
Okay.
I mean, Appfolio is the more popular. We have, I would say, 75 to 80% of our clients use Appfolio, followed by Propertyware.
Okay, and so now I got where the questions keep rolling in, so we'll try to keep going through them here pretty quick. So one is, what's the cost to hire you?
So our hourly rate is $9. We have a monthly minimum of 40 hours for the month, which is $360. And we have a setup fee of $99.
So I don't know, can you plug your ears a moment anew? So I'm gonna say, and Dave could say, chime in on this too. So I find for what I pay, I feel like I get 2 to 3 times the value. It's not like I hired one person for $10 an hour. It's like I have 3 people working for only $10 an hour. So are you seeing that kind of value too, Dave?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't raise your prices because we said that.
we haven't increased ever since we started.
Yeah, it's really a no-brainer, Kevin. It's we've been on it now for, I think, a little over 7 years, and I'm still looking for things to add.
Yeah, no, I find the more I add, because we've been, I think, and you said we've been on 10 years now, and the more we add, the better we run. But the cost value, I really do feel like I'm getting 3 people for only paying $10 for one. It's like it just runs so good. So they were asking the cost structure. So another one was minimum commitments, and basically there's no long-term contracts. It's only 30-day notice. So you're really not locking people into any long-term contracts or anything.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So the only request I have is since we're starting with just one task to begin with and adding the second task after a week, to give us about a full month cycle before you make your decision. And we have had long-term clients that have, been with us for several years because they do see the benefits. One of the things is, since we have the instructions manual, there's consistency because we follow the user manual, and every single person that works on the task does it the same way, including the naming convention. So sometimes we have the client's team work on a task, if, on an invoice, and if something is done incorrectly, we can catch it's not our team and their team because we can find the differences in how it was worked.
And one of the things when we first started using you guys on a regular basis, you were catching mistakes my team was making left and right. I mean, my team wasn't paying as attention to detail that they should have been, that your team was. Like on a utility bill, they wouldn't check to see, like sometimes they have like the amount from the previous month, but your team would check to see that was paid, even though it showed up on the next bill, where my team would just want to pay the whole thing without going in and doing that detail. So my team had to come up to your team's level so they weren't getting busted on mistakes all the time. So let me get back to these questions. We still have a few here. One, they want to know if you have the capacity to perform work, like scopes of work for contractors, rehabs, on existing houses, but even on new builds. So do you get in that new build contracting arena?
Yes. Rehab was very popular, among our clients about 6 years back when there were a lot of investors investing. And so we have experience in that. Okay.
So here's another question on the, is the billing a flat monthly rate or per hour? And I believe you said it's per hour.
Per hour.
And so this next one here, so for the cost factor, is that unlimited task services? I'm not quite sure what they're, maybe so what's the cost factor for unlimited task services?
I didn't quite get that. So it just basically depends on how long we spend, because it's our pricing is hourly based. So We have a monthly minimum of $360. Anything above that is, charged at $9 per hour.
It's not task-based, Kevin, is
Yeah.
really what it is. It's on an hourly. So,
Yeah.
they could have, 3, 4, 5 different tasks
Right.
and it's just spilled out at an hourly. It's not charging per task.
Yeah, right, because we give them at least 50 different tasks, so yeah. So they want to know, is there a minimum or maximum amount of properties that a property manager, you require a property management company to have?
No. We have clients that have 50 properties and as many as 15,000 properties.
Okay, let's see. Says if there are mistakes, do we also pay for fixing the mistake?
No, you do not.
So let me, so I think that's pretty much all the written questions. So I'll just open it up if there's any, if anybody wants to chime in with a question, but I think we pretty much hit all the questions.
Yeah, so one other thing that I would like to say is, we need a buy-in from your team when, if you do choose to, hire our VAs, because we are successful only when your team is happy hiring us.
And that brings up a point. Sometimes people think, oh, they're getting these virtual assistants, they're probably going to fire me, or something like that. So you do need to, educate the team. Hey, we're not looking at, all we want to do is take work off your plate so you can be on the phone with owners or tenants and stuff like that. It's like, we're not trying to get rid of your job, because I think some people actually have that fear. Some of the employees.
Yeah, I mean, for us, Kevin, it actually reduces the stress. I mean, there's so much overwhelm in this business with all of the stuff that everybody's doing. And so it takes a lot of that mundane data entry types of things off of their plates, and my teams love it.
So they're asking, how do they sign up, Anu?
You could send me an email, and I'd like to have a call to get to know your business and also get to know what are the tasks you plan on assigning our team. And the first step would be to identify the tasks, then start working on a user manual and get started.
They want to know, do you work in Excel?
Definitely, yes. Our team is very proficient in Excel. That's one of the trainings that we do in the initial 2 weeks.
And we do our maintenance logs and tracking and metrics in Excel, and they do that for us.
Yeah, that's one of the job requirements we have, proficient in Microsoft products and, internet accounting.
I put your email in the chat, and I'll throw your cell phone number in the chat too.
Thank you.
All right, any further questions? Want to be sensitive of everybody's time. All right, well, if not, join us again. We're going to be doing these once a month. So our next one will be the 27th. It'll be on a Tuesday, 27th of July. We're also going to be hosting one of the SureVestor Lunch and Learns on our tenant liability product. So if you don't have a master tenant liability program, you'll want to join us on July 13th.
Dave, I got to jump in, because even if they have a master tenant liability, we've read these policies, and there are some things they need to know, which they probably have not read their policy if they have one. So even if you have a master tenant liability policy, you should join, you should especially jump in on ours, so you can find out some of the hidden truths that you really need to know about some of these policies.
That was a good point, Kevin. And that's going to be, we're always at 2 o'clock Central Time. So it's going to be July 13th at 2 p.m. Central for that. So stay tuned. Again, we appreciate your time, and a new thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to this lunch and art. I certainly appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks again, all.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Anita.